Hello, everyone. I'm Eleanor Noble, Vice President of ACTRA Montreal and Chair of the Honors Committee. This past February, we were in the final throes of organizing our May ACTRA Montreal Awards when, you guessed it, COVID hit and we had to cancel. Right now, we'd like to take the opportunity to honor our two life members, Michael Rudder and Liz Mcrae, and our 2020 Woman of the Year, Brittany LeBorgne. We'll begin with our land acknowledgement and equality statement, followed by our presentations. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Julie Tamiko Manning, and I'm on ACTRA Montreal's Honors Committee. ACTRA Montreal would like to acknowledge that we are located on unceded Indigenous lands. The Kanien'kehá:ka Nation is recognized as the custodians of the lands and waters in which we gather today. Although historically it's known as a gathering place for many First Nations, including, but not limited to, the Kanien'kehá:ka of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Huron-Wendat, the Abenaki, and Anishinaabeg. Tiohtià:ke, Montreal, is the site of community, human creativity, and storytelling, and has been for thousands of years. ACTRA Montreal commits to respect and honor that tradition. My own evolving understanding of land acknowledgements is that they should be the beginning of action and not the thing itself. In the spirit of learning, I invite you to check out the excellent Indigenous Ally Toolkit that you can find at réseaumtlnetwork.com or on ACTRA Montreal's Facebook page. In regards to allyship, they ask us to remember that at the end of the day, being an ally goes beyond checking actions off a list, and it is not a competition. Being an ally is about a way of being and doing. To be an ally is to actively support the struggle, transfer the benefits of your privilege to those who have less, and acknowledge that the conversation is not about you. And my personal challenge, to speak up, even when you're scared.
ACTRA fosters an environment that supports solidarity based on the principle that all union members are equal. Mutual respect, cooperation, and understanding are our goals. We neither condone nor tolerate behavior that undermines the dignity or self-esteem of any individual or creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive environment. ACTRA's constitution, bylaws, practices, and collective agreements reflect our commitment to equality and respect. Complaints of harassment and discrimination are taken seriously by ACTRA and should be directed to the president or their designate. All will be investigated, and those substantiated will result in action by the union. Discriminatory speech or conduct of any kind hurts and divides us. ACTRA activities are to be harassment-free zones where our members' dignity and respect are surrounded by equality.
Hi everyone, I'm Simon Peacock, still president of ACTRA Montreal. It's my honor today to introduce our two recipients of lifetime membership. Lifetime membership essentially means these two people never have to pay their basic union dues again. They will be covered by ACTRA National and ACTRA Montreal, as we reward them not just for their remarkable longevity in this industry, but also for the work they did for their fellow union members. They have both gone above and beyond again and again and again. And this is our way of saying thank you. Our first recipient this year is Michael Rudder. Michael has been a beloved member of this union for 43 years now. He spent some time on ACTRA Montreal's council and has been a pioneer in the world of dubbing, as a voice director and as a performer. He also has an extensive resume when it comes to film, television, animation, and video games. Always a consummate professional, no matter what field he was working in. Michael has spent much of his life on a personal quest for peace and tranquility, two things we could all use a lot more of. To present Michael with his lifetime membership, I'm going to hand it over to our former national president and current ACTRA Montreal treasurer, Mr. Thor Bishoprick.
I am honored to have been invited to make this virtual presentation of ACTRA Life membership to my dear friend and colleague, Michael Rudder. Born in Toronto, That city's loss was our city's gain when Michael chose to make Montreal his home. Of course, his successful acting career and lifelong spiritual pursuits have taken him back to Toronto, across Canada and around the world. But he has always returned here to us and been a core member, adding to the lifeblood of our community. If, like me, you have had the pleasure of working with Michael, you will know the skill, the intensity, the talent and passion he brings to every role. Whether singing and dancing on stage, playing heroes or villains on film, inhabiting one of his hundreds of wacky animated characters, or dubbing a sweet-natured puppet doggy named Charlie in 195 episodes of Kitty Cats, Michael has distinguished himself for more than 4 decades as one of Canada's hardest-working actors. A quick glance at some of his impressive character names on IMDb would make any mom proud. Prince John, Pastor Vanderveen, Canon Frederick Scott, John the Fearless, Dr. Walensky, Dr. Cartwright, Doctor in Hospital, Dr. Morgenthaler, Detective, Police Lieutenant, Advocate 1, Advocate 2, so many heroic types. And there were those other colorful types such as President's Driver, Auctioneer, Roman Guardsman, Serveur Restaurant, Head Elf, Croupier, Trainman, Geppetto. And there was Dudley, Hubie, Harry, Feck, Tommy, Wilbur, Malik, Bones, Fritz, Royce, Rudolph, Rosencrantz, Ziggy, Weasel, and Bank Robber 2. Some parts must have been a bit of an acting stretch. Buffy, Cody, Ulpick, Blonde Guy, Nose. Michael has been praised by critics, cheered by audiences, cherished by castmates, and consistently hired by producers. That's why Michael has always been Montreal's quintessential working actor. Throughout his brilliant career, Michael has given many extraordinary standout performances. In 1989, he received a Genie Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor in the film Buying Time. But as wonderful as his performances are to watch, the real thrill is working at his side in studio, on stage, and on film, witnessing a master at work. He gives so abundantly, so generously, he pulls you in close. Many of us will recall the terror we felt in November 2008 when Michael was so far away, critically injured with 4 gunshot wounds, fighting for his life in a hospital in Mumbai. Michael had been traveling in India on a peaceful meditative quest when terrorists launched an attack. More than 170 people were brutally murdered, including several of Michael's friends. But despite his wounds, he dragged himself to safety and fought like hell to stay alive. Our community's most solemn Christmas wish that year was just to have him home. His return by medical escort on December 17th was a blessing. At the airport, he told reporters, "This is my community," as he was showered with hugs and kisses. Michael has lived with the memories of that awful day and the shrapnel for the past 12 years. His recovery has been hard, sometimes agonizing. But he has continued to work and live and meditate and bless our community with his courage and grace. Michael, my friend, in this season of giving, we recognize the gift you have given us by choosing ACTRA Montreal as your home, and all of us as your brothers and sisters. Your professionalism, tenacity, artistry, and generosity have enlivened our community, sans pareil. We're thrilled to call you a life member.
Hi, ACTRA membership. I'm here to thank you for the lovely gift you've given me and to do honor to a couple of the people I've known in the past who've received the same honor, who really deserved it a lot more than I do. I want to mention Walter Massey, and I want to mention Victor Knight, both of whom worked tirelessly for the union. The union is only ever as good as the quality of the interest that the membership shows in the direction of the union, because the union really does represent us in the field and is our sword and our shield against exploitation on every level. So I urge you to learn about your union and participate in it. as much as is possible for you. And as an old guy, as a performer, now I have to sit back a little bit more. And so what I regret is earlier in my career, when I had the knowledge that I could push myself into spheres with higher quality teachers and so on, I didn't do it. And I got kind of lost in the parade of my life and was a working actor, and happily so. But if you have those urges to excel at your craft, I would urge you to take yourself quickly to where the excellent work is done and to do your due diligence there and reap the benefit of it. Thank you once again, very much for this lovely gift.
Our second recipient of a lifetime membership is Liz Mcrae. Liz Mcrae has been a member of ACTRA Montreal for 40 years now. And while you probably recognize her face, you almost definitely recognize her voice, because she has lent it to literally thousands of projects, whether it's commercials, documentaries, animated shows, corporate videos, video games, you name it, she's voiced it. In fact, in 2015, she won the ACTRA Montreal Outstanding Voice Performance Award for her role in the animated show Bounty Hunters. Liz has also served her community really well over those years, as a past member of council and an ardent supporter of the branch and a caring friend in our community. To present Liz with her lifetime membership, please welcome a former ACTRA Montreal Award of Excellence winner, Ellen David.
Hi, I'm Ellen David. I'm a practicing attorney, police officer, sex worker, cafe owner, detective, and the governor of Maine, among other things. I am also a judge, and while I may only play these roles on television, I do pride myself on being a really good judge of character. And there is no one I know or can think of whose character is more exemplary than that of the awesome woman who is being honored today with a life membership into ACTRA. I have known Liz Mcrae for many years as a colleague, and a few years ago, when I was directing a play at the Outremont Theatre called The Queen of Chesed, the true story of a woman from Brooklyn who turns her home into a shelter for those less fortunate, I thought Liz would be perfect for the role of Samantha, the intrepid reporter who uncovers the story and brings it to national attention. This was the first play that Liz had ever done, and she was terrific. Not only that, she was the most dedicated, professional, and enthusiastic actor that I've ever worked with. Liz was always at rehearsals, watching, observing, taking notes, even when she was not on stage with the rest of the 11-member cast, or even called into rehearsal. Her work ethic is impeccable. She's a joy to be around, and I truly thought that somehow I'd cast a real journalist in the role. That collaboration brought us closer together, and she has become a dear and cherished friend. I am in awe of her kindness, her generosity, her commitment to the union and to others. Liz goes out of her way to help, to make people feel good. She has told me that that is her fuel, her purpose. It feels good to give a little back to Liz, to see ACTRA and its honors committee acknowledge her in this way. Congratulations, Liz, on a well-deserved honor. I'm proud of you, and I love you. Let's raise a glass to Liz Mcrae. It's 2:00 in the afternoon, and I'm drinking wine. Here's to 2020, y'all. Cheers, Liz.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank ACTRA Montreal and ACTRA National for this wonderful honor, life membership. I'd also like to acknowledge my esteemed colleague, Mr. Michael Rudder, as he is the other recipient of life membership this year. You know, ACTRA started a long time ago, and I happen to be friends with one of the founding members, Mr. Fred Hill. Many, many years ago, I modeled, and I used to model with his daughter, and he would take her to her bookings and pick her up, and one day he was there to pick her up, and he said, why don't we all go for lunch? So that was wonderful. We went for lunch, and he spoke to me about ACTRA. I knew about ACTRA, but not really a lot at that point. And by the end of that lunch, I wanted to be an ACTRA member. I just wanted to be an ACTRA member. It just sounded like something so exciting to be a part of, and something that I wanted to know how to join. How do you do this? So I found out, and in November of 1980, I became a member. So that's 40 years now. It's amazing. What I want to say to you is be supportive of each other. It's really important. ACTRA was something that was put together by a bunch of actors way back then because there was a reason for it, and there is still a reason for it. And in the future, there will still be a reason for it. We need ACTRA. We need to be supportive of each other as a community nationwide. So I just want to say again, thank you very much for this life membership. It touches me very, very deeply. Thank you.
As chair of the ACTRA Montreal Women's Committee, I am honored to present the 2020 ACTRA Montreal Women of the Year Award to Brittany LeBorgne. Brittany is one of those people who just has a glowing presence. Every production, event, workshop, class is made all the better for having her there. From her first foray into acting at a young age in the Ganawage Community Theatre program, to her award-nominated role as Zoe in Mohawk Girls, Brittany's talent as a performer is tremendous. And still, she works tirelessly to improve. She encourages those around her to be kind and generous, to take risks in their own work, and to dream big. In addition to performing in front of the camera, she also works behind the camera as a director and writer. She gives back to the community through organizations like Youth Fusion that seek to reduce dropout rates for at-risk youth. It's actually mind-blowing, the seemingly endless amounts of energy that she has as an actor, writer, director, host, mentor, motivational speaker, and now mom. I cannot wait to present this award to her in person, in front of an audience, and see her receive the applause that she so well deserves. Congratulations, Brittany, from the entire ACTRA Montreal Women's Committee.
Congratulations, Brittany.
I cannot think of a more deserving actress to win ACTRA Montreal's Woman of the Year. I have known Brittany ever since she was a little girl from Ganawage. We were in the drama club together and I was her counselor. And then fast forward 20 years later, the first project we got to work on together was Mohawk Girls, which she was one of the stars. And I mean, I think we had an incredible time, and a big part of that was Brittany's professionalism, her enthusiasm, her commitment. Her character had the most difficult situations within the biggest shenanigans in the show. And every season when I needed to hand her the scripts, I was always worried about how she would respond, and because some of the things were just so off the wall. And every time, I mean, Brittany was up for the challenge, and together we figured out how to make these scenes come to life with both grounded in reality, but also mining the comedy, which she did brilliantly. Some of my best times were on set with Brittany when we were under the gun. Her trust in me so that we could communicate and create on the fly so seamlessly are some of the best memories I have as a director. So it is with my whole heart that I congratulate Brittany. So well deserved. All my love to you.
Thank you so much to ACTRA Montreal and the Women's Committee for this incredible acknowledgement. It was completely unexpected, At the beginning of 2020, I was a new mom with a 2-month-old baby. I was exhausted and kind of a mess and honestly wondering if I would ever work again. So it really couldn't have come at a better time. For as long as I can remember, I've wanted to be an actor, and I knew that it would be not an easy path, especially for a little girl from the res who had zero confidence in herself at the time. But 15 years ago, I decided I had to do something to start making my dream come true. So I did, one audition at a time, and it's been a long and bumpy road. So to be receiving this award really means so much. I can't even express how much it means to me. To see how far I've come, how far the industry has come, and to have been in it with all of you, it just makes me so proud to belong to the Montreal community. And thank you guys for being such a great and amazing and supportive community. I can't wait to see what's in store for all of us next in the new year. So here's to 2021. Let's keep moving forward with diversity, inclusivity, respect and love, and of course, good health. Nyawakoa.
Congratulations again to our 2 life members, Michael Rudder and Liz Mcrae, and our 2020 Woman of the Year, Brittany LeBorgne. Thank you so much for joining us. I'd also like to take this moment to remind you all to continue to wear masks, wash your hands, socially distance, and physically distance when you're in the same room. On behalf of the Honors Committee, we'd like to wish you safe, healthy, and happy holidays, and we'll see you in 2021. Bye.